Here's Corin.
What's up, brother?
Oh, are we live?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Yeah, man, we're here at Much More Gooder Studios. You can find Husky MMG on Twitter. He's been helping us out a lot, and is going to get more involved in helping us get things running smoothly here on Love America tour, which is pretty cool. We're in his studios. We have a green screen. That's why my head looks weird, because I'm wearing my buddy John's hat from who we interviewed, who makes the knives. So that's JB and Son Knives at gmail.com if you want to buy one. So my head looks like it disappears a little bit when I turn around. Let's ignore that. I do have brains in there somewhere.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're just into Missouri last night from Arkansas, so we're just doing a little Arkansas catch up.
Arkansas, what a great state.
Yes.
I enjoyed most of all the people, for sure. What was your most enjoyable moment?
Well, it was definitely getting to know everybody there, and I will say that that our man Troy, who we interviewed, he and his son Austin, who works at Adventure Works, which is at
That's Adventure Works at Catherine's Landing.
At Catherine's Landing, yes, an RV park at Catherine's Landing, which is a lovely place to stay, and there is zip lining for days. So
There is.
yeah, we had a really awesome time. But Troy didn't just come through for an interview for us or helping us get together with his son and do all that. I mean, he drove us around. He made sure that we got into town to be able to see things, and you know, he really came through, and you know, we wouldn't have had such a successful Arkansas trip if it weren't for the help of the locals there. And then we had people drive all the way from the other side of the state,
Yes,
over
3 hours.
over
3
3 hours to come all the way. They were on a 3-hour tour.
Yes, they were.
And they came all the way across the state and joined us at the campsite. We got to hang out, catch up, learn a lot about each other, and you know, that kind of commitment on their end, you know, really reciprocated the we're moving some mics around, so don't worry if the sound is changing a little bit. We're working the kinks out live. Right
Yes.
here, live. Oh, and the other thing too that we want to, before I forget, Husky here at Much More Gooder Studios, eventually in the near future is going to be setting up some Skype or Zoom chat videos to catch up with the people that we've already interviewed, and to find out, you know, what the experience was like for them, if they learned anything from it or anything like that. So we want to have follow-up interviews with the people that we've interviewed who would like to be followed up with, and Husky is going to take over that because we're slammed.
We are. We are very slammed, and we appreciate everybody's help. That's
Just right quick, voice off camera. Rachel Cooper, I'm loving the interviews so far. I listen every afternoon while I'm driving home from work. D9, can you guys read the chat? No, we can't read the chat. Corey says turn up the volume. Jen Lyle says,
Oh,
hey
sorry.
guys. Jerry 2, what up, fool?
Oh,
Christina
Jerry
Shaw-
too. What's
Yeah.
up, homie?
Jerry.
Dropping in for a quick hi, Christina Shaw, as I can't stay and watch.
Christina.
I gotta go to work.
Hey,
Great
Our
job, guys.
first interview.
T. Roy Cooks, awesome. You guys are lives. Jen Lyle, hoping for some hugs from both you guys soon.
Hugs are free.
Octarine, the boys have arrived. Frog
Alright.
Wrangler, we can't hear you very well, guys. Sorry, that is my fault. I will fix it. But we had 10 minutes to throw this together. So
Yes.
So speak loudly.
Are you guys able to hear us now pretty well?
Can you hear me now?
There's a little bit of a delay, but
Oh, is that a Corey Turbyville up there? Right on. Oh, turn up the volume. Yeah, we got you, Corey. Yeah, I hope we can hear it now. If not, we can bring this around even more if we need to. Let's bring this all the way over into here. and then put that
Well, we
right there.
appreciate
You won't need that for that.
We
far.
appreciate
Okay.
you letting your steak
How's that?
go
How are we doing
cold.
now? Are we feeling good? Are we on? Are we live? We got good sound.
Yep. Ryan says yes, we can hear
Okay,
you. Rachel says
fantastic.
volume
Thank you,
sounds
Ryan.
fine.
We'll get the mic set up properly. It's a little further away than it usually would be, but that's okay. This is we're working out the kinks, and you're here
Yeah, we
working
are.
out the kinks with us.
Thank you.
But I'm glad we didn't touch on Arkansas too much yet, so that everybody can hear. But you know, the again the hospitality that Troy displayed for us, his family, Austin, his wife, and his other son. You know, the amount of time and energy that they took out of their day, and the time period that we were there, and we got stuck there an extra day and a half as well because we were waiting on things to be mailed to us that didn't show up. We have a cell phone coming for the show from Bobby Ben, one of the ardent and lovely supporters. Me and him have been buddies for quite some time. He's a medical worker and also an actor. And a great actor at that. And we have a Skittles battle, a Skittles war that's been going on for quite some time, and it will never end, I assure you. Except for maybe when we meet in person. But I'd like to ask Chad, what did he think of how the interviews and everything went in comparison to the interviews in the other states, similarities, differences, anything that you might have noticed or have felt afterwards?
I felt there were a lot of similarities in regards to projection. I felt there were a lot of similarities in regards to how people have come up through childhood into adulthood, and this goes for everything from mistakes to even successes. So it really brought home for me the fact that there is a massive similarity between everybody. It's not what you see in this false perception that is social media. It's not all smiles and nice clothes and sexy pictures or nice things all the time. It's reality. And so that for me was really important.
Yeah, I agree 100%. What I also have noticed, because unlike many of the viewers, I have a little bit of insight into some of the political leanings of a few of the people, of a number of the people that we've interviewed, which no one would ever know how many differences we actually have, in other areas. Which are the areas that we don't need to address. What we need to address is the areas of our lives that we have in common, so that we can come to a common agreement about what is life like, living, growing up, working hard, providing for your family, trying to still enjoy life and find moments of joy and happiness, with your friends and family, and also coming to know new people and getting into communication with one another, instead of jumping the gun all the time, like I think it happens a lot in social media. And also people tend to communicate very differently online than they do in person. And this is why having these interviews live in person is, I think, so vital, so that we really bridge the gaps, but between that distance that is here via the internet and all of that. And we all have a struggle. We all have ups and downs, and the only way for me that I see through all of this is, the village takes care of the children, ideology, which means eventually the child outgrows the teachings of the parent, and the village then starts to raise the children. And all of those different influences from all the different areas of the village have a tendency to push and pull, the individual as they're growing up in life. But if the village can all be in communication with one another, I think that we'll have a lot more successful rate of having us all come up out of this, more in a greater unity than the divisiveness that we're in. I mean, I know I'm talking a lot here, but
That's fine. That's fine. I agree with you 100%. Because it takes a village, as they say, just like you just said. So
we're creating a village right here and right now.
I agree.
That's what I find. I have noticed on my feed, and especially on the Love America Tour feed, but I have just noticed this explosion of positivity and positive comments for people, and people getting in back and forth with each other saying, hey, it's going to be okay, everything's going to be all right, and new friendships forming on the platform, and when I see that happening on my feed, I'm like, this is evidence that what we're doing can resonate on a very broad scale and start chipping away at these walls that we've put up between each other over many years, and that's really what I want to see happen out of all of this. And I'm very interested to see what interviews we get tomorrow. We already had one interview late last night because yesterday, well, we're about 4 days behind on the whole journey right now. Really 5 days, because we had the brake fiasco in Texas. Which was terrifying, but we didn't have that part on film. But that was terrifying. We got that sorted out, but then we had that put us behind by 2 days. Then we got to Arkansas, some stuff that was mailed to us, USPS and all of that. They're 2 days behind or whatever, even on overnight packages. So we got put behind a day and a half there. Then we had to pull off the road because we had another a false brake scare, but we thought it might be, and had to fix a emergency light that was dangling off the side of the RV.
Never underestimate bungee cords.
Never underestimate a bungee.
That's
So
right.
so that put us behind, and then also, I have to admit, we took the wrong freeway, and that took us an hour out of the way coming from where we were in Arkansas to get to where our first interview was, which was outside Joplin. So we didn't get there until 11 o'clock at night or so, and everybody was exhausted, but the interview still went really well. Michelle Atwood, if I'm remembering correctly, was the very first interview here in Missouri. Then we're going to have some more tomorrow here locally. We're going to speak with Husky as well, of course, so that you get to meet him. But I gotta say, I'm feeling it.
I am too. It's really energized me. I used to just be the man behind everything, and now it's just shot me out front, and I was like, hey.
Well, welcome to it. Welcome
I know.
to it.
Welcome to the show.
Hopefully, Love America Tour will become successful enough that someone stops you on the street randomly and asks to get a photo with you.
Oh, I know, right?
Right? That would be awesome.
Yes, it would be awesome. It also would be awesome if they're like, hey, aren't you that DJ?
That will come soon. That will come next. Also, I want to send a special thanks out to the people who've been helping us out on this. Obviously, Husky here, and our man Benjamin Easterday, who's on our team out in Los Angeles. My buddy Bruce Baker, who was an old school field producer from the late 80s and 90s, and he's going to help us out on some publicity stuff, trying to get us some interviews with some radio show hosts and local ones and stuff like that. We can get the word out that way. And obviously want to thank Scott.
Scott, yes,
He's
Scott's
busy.
working right now.
He's busy.
He has his own channel to work on that he's trying to launch, which is, I believe it's Wasted Times on YouTube, and he's just basically doing his own thing. He's a really funny guy.
Yeah, he's piggybacking, what we're doing, so we're going to be including all of his videos on our channel, and he's also helping us do some editing and film stuff and all of that, as well on what we're doing. And then Most Jackson, my buddy Most Jackson, who I've known for years. We've worked together on and off. He's a great music producer. He's supplied us with a bunch of great original songs and soundtracks to be able to use for this. I also have a buddy, which is very exciting. My friend Steve McQueen, who you will meet. He's the construction guy that I have some projects going on with. But his brother is a singer, songwriter down there in Tennessee, and Alabama. Will be at Muscle Shoals at some point. But he's going to record an original Love America Tour song, theme song for the show, which is very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and we'll be able to record that live and everything, and hopefully get some interesting interviews. And the outpouring of assistance and help from everybody out there, people trying to help us get interviews set up, and people cooking barbecues for us. We got,
We love
it was Ryan there and
those
Austin.
ribs.
I'll try not to use too many people's last names. I don't know how much anonymity everybody wants to keep, but man, Ryan, he killed it with that. Husky fed us like a madman.
Like a champ last night.
Troy took care of us in Arkansas
Yeah.
like crazy, and John and his family there. The knife maker. It's the welcoming we've had has been incredible. Even when we've had to stay at a KOA, people taking their time out, like in Louisiana, for instance, we had people drive, again, 2-3 hours. Some were a little bit more local, and then of course we made time to get to the places where individuals weren't able to actually physically drive away from their homes. So.
Right. Yeah.
So we made that happen, and this is I mean it's grassroots, it's small. We don't have all the help from the big Hollywood elite. We got some great help from some people, Cam Edwards and Chad Lindbergh, and even Ed the Sock from Canada has been really responsive on Twitter. We have a number of other of the blue check crowds, a little handful that have been actively supporting us, and I really appreciate that a lot. But that's not what it's about, obviously, because obviously there's not a lot of attention coming from that crowd. So what I'm most excited about is that we've been able to do this together, just us, just the team here with all of you getting excited and coming on board. And sponsoring this through the GoFundMe, which if you go to our Twitter, Love America Tour on Twitter, it's the GoFundMe is there. We'll have to launch a new one soon. We're trying to do some Patreon stuff, trying to expand this, because I got to tell you, the expense of this thing is way beyond what I was expecting. I thought road trip, everything cool, rent an RV, cruise around. I didn't even think about just the cost of gas alone. I mean, it didn't even cross my mind, because as a producer, I've always worked creatively on set, solving problems on set in the moment, and or just working on the creative side. I've never done line producing or logistics or anything like that. So when I started seeing what this actually costs, I mean, I thought we were gonna. I didn't know if we were even gonna be able to get as far as we've gotten. But there's been some last minute donations in the last weeks or so. It won't be released to us until the 18th. So right now, we are literally on fumes until the 18th, but we're going to get to Tennessee no matter what it takes. And then that other portion that has been kicked in by all you supporters, and one really big one that came out, a $2,500 donation by an anonymous person. I guess they want to remain anonymous, so I'll let that be. But that person came through, and then that sparked another kind of surge, which has given us some breathing room here to get into Tennessee and figure things out, and likely get all the way into Muscle Shoals. But we definitely have to. I've asked Benjamin to maybe put together a proper. He does line producing, so to put together an actual realistic budget to look at, because these are the people who've been telling me I am way off on the numbers. Bruce Baker, when I originally told him, 8,000 was the raise, he laughed hysterically, and I said, okay, I'll raise it to 12. And he goes, 12 to do, what you guys are trying to do? He goes, that's more like 50.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just
I
on
was
the
just like,
first part.
what?
And I can't, we're obviously, everybody here is struggling financially, and nobody wants to go and dig the lint out of people's pockets.
No, that's not our aim at all.
So, but what I do see is that, if the smaller donations are fantastic, and if we can increase the amount of people who give the smaller donations, I mean, if we had even 10,000 of the followers just on my site, which it says that I have 34,000, but if I could squeeze, a third of those into $5 each, we would be singing pretty all the way through New York and possibly even further through all of those states and get us back towards the Midwest, and potentially, on our way to California, because we, like I said, we want to hit every single state.
Every state, and we come to you.
To you. So we don't want to go on too long. It is fun doing a live update, though. I will tell you that. I kind of want to stay on here forever.
I feel really
and you get
tall.
to see how my head disappears. Look at that. I have no brains. I have no brains.
Hey, wait. You have a C. Turn this way.
Anyway, okay, enough of the goofing.
Sorry.
We're having a great time. We got some great people to meet. I got another really powerful interview, the last interview from Arkansas, which I'll upload tomorrow. I'm going to try not to upload them all as fast as I have been, because I know it's hard to keep track. So I'll see if I can slow that down a little bit. But we want to stay as present time as possible, so that people get the experience of what we're going through, as we're going through it. And we'll try and do more kind of updates and fun stuff in between as we have time. And the technology, like I said, our technology right now is baseline. There's stuff that we would really love to have. What we would love to have is a live editing software to be able to do multiple camera interviews, where we can edit stuff live, so we don't have all the rendering time and all of that going on later. So we're working on that, so we can make the interviews a little more spicy. Anything you'd like to say before we sign off?
I love you guys. I really do. I'm humbled at all the support, and without each and every one of you sharing, subscribing, liking, and rinse and repeat, and also just throwing up $1, 50 cents, whatever, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So
It'd be impossible.
It would be impossible without you.
And that said, I just want everybody to know how much I'm taking this, seriously, because and if my ex-wife was watching this, she's going to be furious at me. But I already spoke with them kind of about it. But I've turned down some work for this that came in last minute, which would have assisted me in ways that I really, really could have used it at the time. But I've committed to this, and against my agent manager's wishes, I told them that we're going to have to pass, that I've committed to this, and that people have committed to this, and I want to see it through. And the only way that we can see this through is if we all do it together and spread the word, and reach out to other people. This can't be, the burden can't be on all the people's shoulders who are already on that GoFundMe list.
That's right.
Can't be your burden, to do what you've already done twice. What we want to do is get that accordion going. You know what I mean? And start getting more people
A nice
to
polka
come in.
tune.
Yeah, get a polka party going here. And
Here comes Weird Al.
here comes Weird Al.
Hey, we welcome Weird Al, just so you know.
That's true. I'd love to interview him. He was in Parker Lewis one time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sign off now. I know you guys got things to do yourself. God bless you all. Thank you all so much. Your support is just absolutely incredible, and
So
we are gonna
weird.
keep it moving no matter what.
Think. Well, that's much more gooder.